Today, Jeb engaged the front-running Donald at a town hall in Englewood, Colorado.
Mr. Trump believes that you can just round people up, and that it's just an easy thing to do because he's a successful guy and he'll just have successful people do it and it'll all work out. Well, the cost of this will be extraordinary. It will disrupt community life. It doesn't embrace American values that I think should be respected. It's not a conservative plan, and it's not practical. It will cost hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's not going to happen either. It's just not possible to do it. How do you know, he's proposed eliminating remittances. So who's going to decide who's, legally remitting money back to their families in other countries? Are we going to have just go door by door and do this? You can't build a wall and solve this. I mean, if you've been to the border, first of all, there is no. I mean, you'd put American citizens on the unless you build it in the middle of the Rio Grande River, which I don't think is feasible. The cost of it is extraordinary. The terrain makes it impossible. It's a great soundbite, but it's not defensible in terms of a practical policy.
All right, so another day of data about Jeb Bush and whether this is an effective way for him to advance his candidacy by taking on Trump. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to get to my caveats in a moment, yeah. But let me just say, on paper, I said this yesterday on the show, the notion of making this a mano-a-mano fight with Donald Trump, being feisty, being conservative, or calling himself conservative and Trump liberal, trying to peel away some supporters from Marco Rubio and John Kasich who don't like the fact that those guys are being quiet about Trump. All of that on paper makes a lot of sense. My caveat I will reserve until after you speak.
Look, the Bush campaign is not going to pick every fight with Trump. They took a pass on fighting over Barbara Bush, for instance. Yes. But they are going to look to do this to try to help define Jeb Bush. My caveats are, Jeb Bush says there are two things he wants to do in running for the nomination. One, be joyful. That did not look like a joyful man. He's got to learn how to take on Trump and be joyful by his own standards. And the other is, he said he's not going to say things that will hurt chance of winning the general election. And while he didn't necessarily there, obviously on anchor babies and some other issues, he has.
Well, yes, and again, to your first point, Howard Stern, I believe, on the radio, possibly yesterday or today, I can't remember when I heard it, said that he thinks that Jeb Bush speaks Spanish better than he speaks English. And I think there's something to that. He's not only does he not look joyful, he's also just sort of yammering and stammering, and he's not driving even the message he wants to drive against Trump. So on paper it works. The performance is really sorely lacking so far.
Today, again, not in the context of taking on Trump.